to change. We're standing at the border where history is made. We're cranking up the lights now so everyone can see. It's all happening right now. We're gonna make you believe it's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. Blow the roof off. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. We'll make the whole world hear us. So throw your hands up high. We're about to show you why they fear us. Here comes the battle cry. Here comes the battle cry. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. Blow the roof off. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy.
This has been a tradition around Crossroads for about 19 years, and it's because our culture is so divided. This is the one holiday all of us get to come together with and say, hey, let's have fun together. And actually, we do believe that God has given us the ability to laugh. It's part of His gifts, and we don't think there's any problem laughing and spiritually growing at the same time, and we think we're gonna get both of those today. So I gotta get backstage because I gotta get ready to pound Team Mingo into molasses right now. And while I go do that, let's go to our studio hosts wherever you are.
Well, hey, welcome, Crossroads. Welcome here today. My name is Joe Jones, and I am so glad to be with you and my co-host, Amanda Orlando of the Jim and Amanda Morning Show.
I am so excited to be here, although I have to admit that when Matt Castleman invited me, he told me I'd be co-hosting with Joe Jonas, not Joe Jones.
It's not that disappointing, is it?
Well, I was... I'm still excited to be here. Can you sing, Elise? Can you sing?
I can sing, but I'm not going to today.
We can still work with that. But it's a very exciting time to be here for the Super Bowl of preaching.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I get it. Absolutely. That was our attorneys. They said we cannot say Super Bowl. They're afraid we're going to get sued by the NFL.
Oh, yikes. Well, I don't want to get us, we don't want to get sued by the NFL. But you know what? I am really good at sports and stuff. I will come up with a really great name in just a few. I promise. I'm sure. Now, I know a lot of people here are expecting to see some football, and some people are here expecting to see some really great preaching, and some people are here like, what am I going to see? Can you fill us in on what to expect today?
Absolutely. Well, today is going to be a lot like a professional football game, except preaching. And in fact, there won't be any football played at all. We know the athletic ability of our participants today, and you don't want to see them playing any sports at all. But we have Team Tome and Team Mingo and 4 of the best preachers we could possibly get that are going to come together in this competition. But before we get into that, Amanda, tell us a little bit about our sponsor.
Oh, absolutely. Today's game is brought to you by Doritos, now in a juice box. Gross.
That is so gross. I'm glad the scriptwriters gave that to you and not to me.
Oh, they thought you were Joe Jonas.
Well, listen, today's going to be a great competition, as I said, and we have some former NFL players with us. Safety Solomon Wilcots and the Cincinnati Bengals' own NFL Hall of Famer, Anthony Munoz.
Well, thank you, and we're glad to be here. You know, 2020 was a crazy year, and the sports scene was slower than usual, which is why today we find ourselves here. What kind of game do you think we could expect this year?
As a real football player, I don't know what to expect from football preaching.
Yeah, very true. Now, in order to be part of this game, the pastors agreed to live and compete in a bubble.
That's right. The players were required to be quarantined at a Crossroads location.
You know, I got inside the bubble, and I caught up with each team before the big game. I also had a chance to sit down with this year's Super Bowl of Preaching referee, Matt Castleman, to hear his perspective on this year's throwdown.
In the Bubble League.
Matt, before we get started, inquiring minds want to know what's going on here. What's up with the dog collar? I mean, you haven't been biting yourself, have you?
No. It's just the only PPE I could find.
Well, are you prepared to call the big game?
You know, not at all. I'll be completely honest. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just keep that between us, because I can't let these guys know I need this gig.
So you have no idea what's going on?
I'll be completely honest with you. Graduated with a BFA in musical theater. I was in Annie twice as the lead role. I opened my own dinner theater called Broadway and Beef. All vegetarian menu, except for the beef. We did Cats the Musical. I was the lead role in that, alongside trained kittens. And we did Hamilton, the world's first production of Hamilton with live pigs. And New York Times actually said, "Oh no!"
Do you have any idea how the game even works? The rules of the game?
Saluminium, of course I do. I brought my script, actually. So let me just pull open the rules of the game. Oh, sorry about that. Headshots, never be too prepared. Would you like one?
No, just the rules.
Sign it for you here in a moment. Let's see here. The Phantom of the Opera for men, Defying Gravity for tenors. Ha-ha! Rules of the game. Now, what is my motivation?
No motivation, just give us the rules. That's all.
Got it. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Oh my. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. La, la, la. Each team will preach 2 7-minute quarters. Each team must use 1 Bible reference. In each quarter, each team will be given 1 random phrase that they must work into their message. The referee has complete jurisdiction over whether or not the player has met the criteria and will award points accordingly. Points will be distributed as thus: compelling message, 6 points; random phrase, 3 points; extra point, 1 point. But alas, penalty, negative 3 points. And scene.
Well, I'm joined now by preaching veteran and founder of Undivided, a man of the people. In fact, he's the people's pastor, Chuck Mingo. And also joining him on Team Mingo is teaching pastor and writer and despiser of small talk, Allie Patterson. All right, well, Chuck, you've been spending quite some time in the bubble. Are you ready for the big game?
I'm more ready than ever. Like, relaxed even.
Solomon, I mean, I got 4 kids. Chuck has 3 kids. 6 months away from the daily grind of family. I mean, I miss my babies, but this is like a vacation.
You guys seem perfectly in sync in your training this year.
Hey, you know what? It's all about teamwork, and this team works.
So, what is the game plan this year for Team Mingo?
To win. We're about to preach people out of their seats. Can I get an amen, somebody?
I mean, amen. Listen, we know these guys.
That's right.
We know Tome. I'm going to tell you what he's going to do right now. I know this guy's trick. He's going to make fun of me for throwing like a girl. I've heard it all before, and I am not afraid to play them tough.
Take a look at this. A lot of trash talking going on there with Brian Tome.
Full-blown, 100% virile men. Those guys don't have any testosterone. Allie, she certainly doesn't. Chuck, we know. I mean, it's going to be old, smash.
It's cute, actually.
Exactly. That's really
like
cute.
people have never seen it before.
Using his words.
Well, I'm joined now by Team Tome, led by senior pastor, author, and Aggressive Life podcast host, Brian Tome. And, of course, his teammate, teaching pastor, carpenter, and former Yellow Pages employee Kyle Ransom. We have some footage that seems to suggest that you guys are having some chemistry issues.
Really? I don't see it that way.
Get a look at that.
Do you have any toilet paper I could borrow?
I don't have any toilet paper. Sorry. The best defense is an offense, and we are going to be offensive, incredibly offensive. And we don't care who gets in our way. It's going down, and they're going down.
We go together. We are like a fist and a
Drywall.
We're like peanut butter and
Doritos.
we're like oil and
Water.
exactly like that, Solomon. Together.
Oil and water doesn't connect.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a good metaphor.
Okay, that's going to do it for me here. It's almost time for kickoff. Let's send it back to you guys.
Wow, incredible insights, Solomon and Anthony. Wow. I just want to say a shout out to our students who are here tonight. I know you got your bingo cards. Where are you at? Where are you at? You're playing along tonight.
Bingo.
And as you may have noticed, our own campus pastor, Matt Hasselman, is the ref. This is going to be scary.
It's scary. I don't think they would have had him at the real Super Bowl. Now I said it. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh, you're going to get us sued.
I'm going to get us sued by the NFL. Amanda, I want you to share with us, please, some of the names that you've come up with.
Okay, I did. I've been working on it during the break there. How about the Stanley Cup of Preaching? Or the Preaching World Series? No? Okay.
No.
Okay, this is it. The Superb Bowels of Preaching.
Amanda, those are all horrible, and we'll probably get us sued. And that last one there, that's just disgusting. Bowels of preaching.
It does sound like a different type of competition.
It does. It
Perhaps.
absolutely
Perhaps.
does.
Okay, all right. I don't know what you want. Like, I don't know, sports, church, preach ball?
Sports church preach ball. That actually has a little bit of a ring to it.
It
Let me
does?
check. Yeah, the attorneys are talking to me, and that's it.
That's
Bingo. That's the one we're going with.
We're going with it. All right.
We're going with that one.
Welcome, everybody, to Sports Church Preach Ball, brought to you by our attorneys.
NFL, please do not sue us. Now listen, we are just about ready to start this competition, but before we do, we're going to take it down to our commentators, our Oakley community pastor and West Side defector, Greg McElfresh, and our online host, Hannah Shepard.
Well, hey, thanks, guys. Greg here alongside my partner in crime for the game, Hannah Shepard. Are you ready for the big game?
Oh, come on. I think we can do a tiny bit better than that. You came all the way out here, whether you're at home, whether you're at a site, no matter how you're looking today. How are you feeling about this game? Come on, let me hear some noise. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. So, Greg, tell me, man, what about that name change? Sports Church Preach Ball.
I'll tell you, it's definitely better than the Washington football team, so we'll just have to go with it. Hey to everyone at home, if you're watching, whatever site you're joining us from, so good to be with you today. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. We need you to wear this thing the entire time, unless you're in the comfort of your own living room. We really appreciate it. So do all the people around you, and please don't let there be any more than 3 seats between you and the party next to you.
Yeah, that's important. I'm excited to be here today. Everyone's excited to be here today. I know these folks are ready to get started. So how about we head down?
Send down to the field for the starting lineups.
The home team. Introducing a pulpit-pounding pastor from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's master of the motorcycle, the man preaching the way to an aggressive life. Alongside Tone, we have that slayer of the sermon. He's a mover, a shaker, a table maker. The team, the myth, the legend, Team Tone!
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. Gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. Gonna spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar.
your visiting team. Introducing the freshest prince from Philadelphia, the destroyer of division, the unicorn of unity. Alongside Mingo, we have an unapologetic truth teller, serving up ironclad theology with a side of side-eye. More popular than TP in a pandemic, let's hear it for Team Mingo!
Lights, camera, action! Lights, camera, action! You turn it up, say. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Turn it up, say. Oh yeah. We ain't going. Nowhere, nowhere. No, we ain't going. Nowhere. You turn it up, say. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Turn it up, say. Oh yeah. We ain't going. Nowhere, nowhere. No, we ain't going.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've met the players. They survived the bubble.
Yes.
Hannah, I think we need to add just one more rule.
All
folks,
right,
today,
come on. What is
all
it?
4 of these preachers have to weave in one thing in their message, and it's Jesus' best coaching move. We'll
All
see
right.
if they can do it.
I think that they can. Man, the energy in this room is palpable.
There's
and
some weird stuff going on
it's
on
happening.
the stage.
It
What do
is.
you say we send it down to the field with today's referee, Matt Castleman, for the coin toss?
I've seen him somewhere. Soul shoes for sure.
Let's bring it in for the coin toss. I want a good, clean game. Brian Tome, as senior pastor, you will call the coin in the air.
Heads be rolling when I'm done.
It is heads.
Is that a chocolate coin?
I think so. Ladies and gentlemen, today's coin toss is brought to you
Would
by
you like
Hershey's.
to kick or receive the Bible?
We will receive.
Tom to receive the Bible.
Here we go.
Finally, the headgear is coming off. Looks like Patterson's going to hold the Bible. Mingo to kick. Clean reception by Tome.
Here we go. Already off to an aggressive start here.
Our
Come on, Kyle,
referee.
your time. It's your time. It's your time. It's our house, Kyle. It's our house.
We got this,
Come
baby.
on, your
We got
time.
this. We
Well,
got
what
this.
you'll see here
Where's
is our
the referee?
referee
Where'd
is
you
going to
go?
get the first random
Where'd you
phrase
go?
of the game. Totally random. They've never seen these before.
Sorry about that. Had a shift at Foot Locker I had to run to real quick. Kyle, choose your random phrase.
That one. You put it back.
That might have been the same one. Hence, why the live-action Mulan is better than the cartoon.
Here we go.
Great.
I don't know if that's actually
All right.
true.
All right, question for you. Who was the greatest head coach of all time? You might say like Don Shula, 347 wins, 25 years, maybe Bill Belichick, closing out on his records. Maybe you go college, Nick Saban. Sorry, Saban.
Did you say Saban?
I didn't mean that. No, who's the greatest coach? Well, the answer is easy. It's Jesus. See, he is the greatest head coach of all time. He has billions and billions of wins over 2,000 years, and he's still winning today. Today, he's defeating depression. Today, he's conquering apathy and addiction and bitterness and everything that divides us. He's winning today. Ephesians 1:22 puts it this way. And God placed all things under his feet, that's Jesus, and appointed him to be head, like the head coach, over everything for the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills everything in every way. He fills everything in every way. There's nothing fake about him. There's nothing that you would look at and you go like, that's not real about him. He fills everything in every way. He's not a cartoon at all. Hence why the live-action Mulan, I think, is better than the cartoon. I'm just saying. It just is. It's just more biblical. It's more biblical, if you catch me. Yeah. Now today, you're going to hear from each of us tell you what we think Jesus' greatest coaching move of all time is. And just for the record up front, what we have to say is going to be more biblical, more accurate, more helpful, all that stuff. And if you want to get popcorn, there's probably, look for the right spot to do that yourself there. Now, what's his greatest coaching move? Well, I think it's this. It's that he focused on team first. On team first. Now, he didn't have to do this, as God. He could have could have done whatever he wanted to. But think about this. He chose to be born into a family, which is a team. He could have come as whoever he wanted to. He could have been born as Patrick Mahomes if he wanted, you know? Maybe he is. I don't know. Can we definitively say he's not? I'm just saying. I mean, he gave us a family team. And then before his ministry even started, he had a career. He was in the trades. He went to a job site every day as a builder, as a carpenter, in which he would have operated as part of a team. And once he did start his ministry, teaching, healing people, all that stuff, the first thing he did is build a team. You know him as the 12 disciples. And then he expanded that team to 72, which you'll hear about from Brian in a little bit. And he's been expanding it ever since then. It's the greatest team in the history of the world. Now, why would he do that? Why would God build a team? It's kind of strange if you think about it. Well, I think it's for this reason. It's to help you and I defeat what may be the greatest enemy we face in life, the lie that we are alone. It's a lie that all of us have to deal with. All of us face it. Doesn't matter. I face it. All of us have faced it. Your neighbors face it. Your bosses face it. All of us have felt alone. See, it's not about having friends or no friends. You can have great friends and still feel alone. It's not about being married or not being married. You can wake up in bed next to somebody every morning and still feel alone, go through life alone. You can even come into a church. You can sit in a seat just like you are right now. You can watch online just like you are, and you can still feel alone. Now, why do we feel this way? It's because in this game called life, there are two coaches on the field. There's an opposing sideline, see? And on the other sideline, there's a voice shouting opposite directions at us. I call it the voice of alone. We've all heard it steer our lives. And for me, maybe the time I heard it the loudest in my life was in 9th grade. We had moved from this little town outside Dayton, Ohio to Philadelphia. I joined a new school. And at first, it was like the opposite of alone, honestly, because it was this tiny little school. And all of a sudden, I was the soccer star. It was unbelievable. I played JV and varsity, started. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was incredible. But then...
Flag on the play.
What?
Holding on to the past.
What is it? What? No.
Holding on to the past.
High
school was like 20 years ago. Move on. 3 points will be assessed at the end of this quarter.
There's an expiration date on examples in the message, and he passed it.
Man.
I'm just YouTube Kyle Ranson highlights. You probably want to watch that later. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. No, see, right about that time that I made these teams, I started having shin splints, see, because I played both games. And so I would limp every time I sprinted. And about the time that happened, my parents realized that this little school I was in was total crap. Like, for instance, I had a Spanish teacher who was awesome, except for one small thing. She didn't know any Spanish, like, at all. She'd be like, class, repeat after me, tortilla chip. We'd be like, I don't think that's how you say that, you know? So they transferred me to a different school, and I joined the soccer team, just the JV team this time. And I remember my first practice. I go down for my first drill, shoot on goal, and I come back to the team, and they're all laughing at me because I'm limping as I run. And you might be like, you know, why don't you just tell them about your shin splints? Kyle, you had a legit injury. Why don't you just tell people? Well, for the same reason that you don't tell people about your weak places either, because you're afraid that you'll be rejected and end up alone. The voice of alone is powerful, see? Incredibly powerful. But the question is it right? Are you born to be alone? Well, the answer is no. See, the good news today is not only was Jesus' best coaching move focusing on team first, it's that he invites you, no matter who you are, where you've been, what you've done, to be part of his team. It's unbelievable. He's on the recruiting trail, and he's coming after you. He's got an offer letter. All you have to do is say yes to it. This is his words in John 1:12. He says, yet to all who did receive him, to those who believe in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. That just means if you want, you can be on the team. And it's an amazing team. It's a team where you can be forgiven and then immediately receive direction. It's a team where gifts and abilities and purpose and direction be called out in you, stuff that you never knew about. It's a team where, get this, if you are running in life and you find yourself injured, such that you start to limp, you got a team who has your back, who picks you up and who carries you forward to victory. It's an amazing, amazing team. Now, Jesus, when he described this team, I said to you earlier, this is the best team in the history of the world. And I mean it. That's not my idea, that's his idea. These are his words from Matthew 16:18. Jesus says, I will build the church. I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it. See, that means that when you're on the team, all the powers of hell won't conquer you. Depression won't conquer you. Addiction won't conquer you. Apathy won't conquer you. It won't. Jesus will win. You're part of the team. Now, I'll just say to you here, we have a lot more fun planned for you. I hope you've had fun already. We have amazing, hilarious commercials planned, all kinds of incredible stuff. But do not miss this point. All of us are up here today for one reason. It's to help get you on that team. In fact, as one of the community pastors here at Crossroads, I'll just say, yeah, you can clap for that. Absolutely. By the way, if you're here and you're hearing people clap and you're like, why do people clap for that? It's because they're on the team. And they know how incredible it is. See, listen, friends, you can call yourself a Christian. You can be somebody who says you follow Jesus. You can show up to a building like this again and again. You can watch online again and again and again. But do not mistake sitting in a seat for being on the team. It will change your life. It changed mine. As one of your community pastors, I'll just say, you have one here. You have one wherever you're watching this. And we would love nothing more than to help connect you on the team. All you have to do is email us. Right here on the screen right now is your community pastor's email address. This is not a robot. This is not a junk mail box. This is their email address. Email them. They would love nothing more than to help you find your place on this team so that you never again have to feel alone. Jesus' greatest coaching move is that he focused on team first. It's a team that he invites you to belong to.
That's our first quarter.
Touchdown, Team Tome! Kyle, you were awarded 6 points for an excellent message, an additional 3 points for an excellent use of a random phrase.
Yep.
However, there was the 3-point penalty for holding. Yeah. Surprised you're not wearing your Letterman jacket.
Do you want to see it?
I'm good. Okay. Your extra bonus Bible trivia question is, in the New Testament of the Bible, a denarius was equivalent to a day's wage for a skilled laborer. The question is, within $1, how much money from my first ever paycheck did I spend on Taco Bell?
It's Taco Bell.
It's Taco Bell.
You can eat a meal. I mean like a meal for about $3.
The answer is $4. That is correct.
Baby, yeah!
Extra
Right
bonus
there.
point.
Come on, ref.
Don't touch.
Yeah.
COVID. Resulting in an end of first quarter score, Team Tome 7,
Yeah,
Team Mingo
come on, baby.
0.
That's
There you
right.
have it, Hannah. End of our
Bring
first
it, Bingo.
quarter, 7-0. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more performance like that from our ref. What'd you see?
Absolutely. You know what? No shock that Team Tome came out of the gate aggressive. There was trash talk. Kyle was ready, but you know what? The crowd was with him. They were right alongside him. It's going to be tough.
I think you're right. Well, folks, we know you don't come for the preaching. How about we go to our first commercial break?
Life's an adventure, and adventure's about the journey. You need gear when you're on the go, or when it's time to go. Introducing Camel Crack, a mobile bidet from Camelback. We'll keep you out of the mud and keep the mud out of your butt. Camel Crack's patented 2-hose bidet system cleanses out all your peaks and valleys. 1 hose for drinking, 1 for unstinking. Make sure you only use hose 2 for number 2. So you spray the water on your butt and then it goes in.
Oi. Wait a sec. You guys realize that mobile bidets are a real thing, right? Yeah, they give it to you in hospital, after you give birth. Oh, look here, I've actually got one.
Why was this in your pocket?
That thing saved my life after my second kid. Nice job on the product parody, you drongos. Crikey. Guys are so dumb. I have to, woman-splain everything.
Camel Crack Mobile Bidet. Maybe it's a real thing.
Today we're doing something a little different for our older viewers.
Yeah.
First of all, you know we love you.
We love you.
You basically like invented craft beer.
You brought back vinyl. That
was huge.
That was so big.
Yeah.
But millennials, your time is over.
You're old now.
Yep. Remember when you got mad at your parents for being on Facebook?
Maybe Facebook is more your speed now. And you know, #adulting,
Right.
You're actually just an adult.
You're just an adult. Big difference. You invented the hashtag. That was great. But it's getting old now too.
Yeah, you're kind of holding us back. And we got big plans, you know, and they don't include true crime podcasts.
Rewatching old episodes of The Office again.
It didn't change.
It's the same.
All right, let our generation do our thing.
And please leave TikTok alone. This message brought to you by PSA, You're Not 22 Anymore, a Gen Z initiative.
We're not gonna get old like that, right?
No, us, no.
Yeah,
no.
Well, we're back from our first commercial break. New this year, we've got some sponsorships for you. First one, from the makers of Incredible Burgers come Incredible Broccoli, the same flavor you've come to know and love, only this time made with 100% USDA choice ground beef.
Man, you love to see it. And you know what? If you need something to wash that down with, this has just been released from Bud Light, a new line of soft seltzers. It's basically LaCroix.
Yeah.
It's exactly LaCroix.
Hannah, I'm actually a little excited about this one. You see, what this is the mansplaining shock collar. So what this thing actually does is...
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, so while he's recovering, let's actually throw back down to the field.
Right. Team Mingo, you will maintain possession of the Bible for the second quarter. Please choose your random phrase.
Here we go.
Your random phrase is, so I stuffed it with cream and called it a day.
Random as it comes.
I'm gonna love watching how Mingo figures this one out.
Well, I have to say, we're having a lot of fun, and Kyle is right. You know, Jesus wants you to be on his team. One thing Kyle did miss is really important. We pray around here, just in case you didn't know. So, because Kyle didn't pray, I'm going to go ahead and open us with a word of prayer right now. So, God, I thank you for the opportunity to be together at the Super Bowl of preaching, even though we can't call it that anymore. And so I just ask that you would continue to help us to see you, Jesus, as a coach who wants to meet us where we are today. And I ask this in your name, Jesus. Amen. So Jesus is, I believe, the best coach ever. And one of the things is he doesn't just put you on his team and give you a jersey. He knows your name. Jesus knows your name. I think one of Jesus' best coaching moves is he gets personal. I'm rocking the Kansas City Chiefs jersey. Who's rooting for the Chiefs this weekend? All right. Well, the Chiefs are coached by someone I greatly respect. His name is Andy Reid. He used to coach my Philadelphia Eagles, and now he has won one Super Bowl and may win another Super Bowl this weekend. And the interesting thing about him is there are players that used to play for him, for other teams, that are making it their business to be in Tampa to watch him win again, if he's going to win again, because he's a personal coach. He knows how to personalize his relationship with his players. Players love playing for him. And Jesus is that kind of coach. Now, I have to be honest and tell you, I have never heard the audible voice of Jesus, but I did hear him laugh one time. And it actually had to do with, believe it or not, the same experience where these played a role in how he was speaking to me. So what do bubbles have to do with Jesus getting personal? Well, one of the things that I have done now for a couple...
Uh-oh.
You dropped your flag.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge flag.
Okay. Oh, all right, what's the challenge?
He just blew his freaking Corona bubbles all over everybody in the front row there. We got people 3 seats apart from each other. Everyone's wearing a mask, just blowing his Corona bubbles all over the place.
He's got a great point.
Hold on, the challenge is you're blowing Corona bubbles all over the place. Were you offended by his bubble blowing?
Oh.
I see 2 yeses.
Folks at home, the people in the front row just totally gave up on him.
Wait a second, but I already had COVID, and you know what I did? I stuffed it with cream and called it a day, so it's all good.
And random phrase by Team Mingo. We're seeing some camaraderie
That
on the
was
field.
not rehearsed. That was unbelievable.
They think that was scripted. No, that was not scripted at all.
That was not scripted.
Wow.
And That's at least worth an extra point for Team Mingo.
You got this.
You know, anything can happen here at Sports Church.
Anything
Preach
can happen.
ball.
Let's keep it going.
Oh, man. All right. So I do this silent retreat every year. And it's really a special moment for me, but it was this year. I had been on staff for 10 years. And it was just kind of a transition point for me. And I was wrestling with a lot of things. And I remember going to this retreat, and I wasn't feeling like I was known by Jesus in that moment. I was really wrestling with some things. And I remember being in these woods. I would walk these woods, and I was crying, and I was screaming, and I was just saying, Jesus, Jesus, do you see me? Do you see me in this moment? Help me to understand what to do. And I just felt that day a bit distant. And it was interesting to see what happened the next day. So I thought about that because that connects to a time when these followers of Jesus felt the same way. I love the honesty of the Bible. I love that there are people in the Bible who don't have all their stuff together. I love that there are people in the Bible who are really wrestling. And one of them, or two of them, are actually these followers of Jesus after Jesus had died. Because you got to remember, these are people who thought he was going to overthrow Rome. They thought he was the answer. They thought he was the coach that was going to win the game and ultimately change everything in their lives in that moment. And so when he died, they doubted. What did we believe? And they were doing this 7-mile walk, and maybe like me, they were in the place of just wrestling and struggling with what it meant to follow Jesus, because they were hearing these rumors that the grave was empty. They saw him die in Jerusalem, and they're walking to this place called Emmaus, and they're like, we're hearing these rumors, but we don't know what to believe. And the story says Jesus met them where they were. They didn't know it was him at first. And he's walking the road with them. And they begin to tell him about their frustrations, and they begin to tell him how they're feeling. And then Jesus begins to talk to them. He gets personal with them. And he reminds them that this is the way the story had to play out, that the rescuer had to die, that he had to lay down his life. There was a sacrifice that was needed. And all of a sudden, it says, as they were walking with him, he begins to unfold these things. And then finally, they sit down with this person. They don't know it's Jesus, to have a meal. And it says that immediately after he broke the bread in their presence, their eyes were opened. And they recognized they had been with Jesus. I love this story because Jesus met these two followers in their place of doubt. Maybe you're here, maybe you're watching, and it's a place of doubt for you. Maybe you're here because you want to believe that God actually hasn't forgotten you, but you're struggling because of the things that are going on in your life. I know what it's like to be in that place. And so the interesting thing is the next day, in this silent retreat, after my time in the woods of frustration and tears and I was even hitting like branches against a tree. I was just struggling. The next day, middle of the night, I kind of wake up and it's like time to go to the bathroom. And I forgot where I was and I ran smack dab into a wall. And I lied to you not. First thing I did was laugh. And I heard Jesus laugh in that moment. And you might say, really? Laugh? Well, let me ask you this. Why do we think that if Jesus were to speak to us, it has to be a condemning voice? Or it has to be this booming voice with judgment for you? Jesus is the most joyful being in the universe. Why wouldn't he laugh? And I remember in that moment feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling known. But it got even better. Because one of the things I don't do at this silent retreat is talk to people. But I made an exception because there were these two men, and for some reason, I knew I was supposed to talk to them. There's a place where you can have a conversation. And I will tell you, those two men were the exact two people I needed to hear from to understand the direction that God was taking me next. And then there's also this prayer shack there, this prayer shack where people will write their prayers. And one of them that stood out to me the day before, when I was in that place of questioning and doubt, just simply said this. It said, the Eucharist, without it, life is but bubbles. I'm like, what does that mean? And I began to think about it. The Eucharist, you may know it as communion, you may know it as the Lord's Supper. And what it is it's this remembrance that followers of Jesus do to remind us that Jesus was present in this world and he is present with us today. And so literally the next day, as I have had this conversation with these two men, and God is speaking to me through them, another retreatant, doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about the shack that I was in, doesn't know the prayer that I read, comes up to me and literally gives me a bottle of bubbles. Now you tell me, I needed that. I needed that. I needed the personalization of that. I needed something that was undeniable. And here's the thing I want you to know. I believe that Jesus wants to meet you right where you are. He wants to get personal with you. Listen to what he says in Revelations 3:20. He says, I stand at the door and knock. And he says, if anyone will answer, I will come in and I will break bread with them. You may be in a place right now of doubting. I want you to know Jesus is knocking. He has not forgotten you. He knows your name. He knew what you needed to hear today to know that he's the kind of coach that will get personal with you. So let him coach you up. If you're in your place of doubt, let him coach you up into a place of faith. If you're in a place of struggle, let him coach you up to a place of strength, because Jesus is the kind of coach that gets personal, and he wants to get personal with you.
That's the half.
That's
Touchdown, Team Mingo!
Strong, strong.
Chuck, you are awarded 6 points for an excellent message, an additional 3 points for an excellent use of a random phrase, plus the 1 extra Corona bubble point, plus 1 prayer point for remembering to pray in church. The elusive prayer point, we call it the PP, resulting in the score of 11.
We should call it the PPE, the prayer point extra.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
Almost 1 extra point worthy. Your bonus trivia question is, Acts chapter 2 describes the day of Pentecost, where the Apostle Peter gives a sermon that people from multiple ethnic groups and languages miraculously understand all at once. Your question: say the phrase, "Where is the bathroom?" in at least 2 languages other than English.
¿Dónde está el baño? Oh man, I don't want to do it because I don't want to offend anybody. So I'm not gonna try it. I don't know how to say it in sign language. I think that's poop in sign language.
What are you doing right
I think
there?
that's poop in sign language. I think that is. I'm not
All
sure.
right, no, that'll count. The extra point.
Extra point received by Team Mingo.
Is that right?
We might need some sign language to
I don't think
verify
anyone
what that
can
meant.
verify.
Sign language.
I'm sorry
You
if
have to
we
poop. I
offended you.
remember my kid had to go to the bathroom.
Resulting, oh my gosh.
Wait. This might be poop in sign language, but you didn't say anything about I have to go to the bathroom.
Exactly. Well, yes, but okay. I mean, I would think that if you spoke sign language and did that, and somebody also
Tom
spoke sign
says
language.
this may be poop in sign language, but he didn't say
That's
the
a very
phrase.
good point that the senior pastor, who also signs my paychecks, makes. So it's not going to get the extra point. I'm so sorry.
Can we get a score for the first half,
Resulting in an
please?
end of half score. Team Mingo 11, I think. Team Tome 7. It's time for intermission.
It's all good.
Wow, Hannah, there you sort of have it.
I mean,
I
that
don't
was the
understand
most
it.
interesting quarter that we've seen on the field today. Normally, Chuck is the people's pastor. We saw that, and you can tell that he is a seasoned pro with that random
He
phrase.
is. Team Tome's challenge flag backfiring on them. Amazing use of the random phrase. We've got a
Absolutely.
halftime show coming up, but first, one more commercial break.
Seriously, Troy. Just last week, I traded Corey's mom a dose of Xanax for a 12-pack of toilet paper in the alley behind Target. Just be firm and tell them I can still see you picking your boogers with your mask on. Today, I want to teach you survival skills on pandemic parenting, like sanitation, security,
Honey, have you seen my pants?
negotiation. If you put on pants for math, I'll pretend we're having Wi-Fi issues for social studies.
Okay.
Delegation.
Well, Eric, people don't like it when we call our marketing viral anymore. You have to fix it. And do it by the 9th.
Networking.
Take me with you.
Creating alliances.
We're not bad at parenting. They're bad at childing.
I'm a mom just like you. This is my masterclass. And I have no idea what I'm doing.
Last year was hard. I was spending a lot of time at home. So I got an emotional support dog.
Sup, I'm Greg.
Being emotionally available for me is a full-time job.
She ain't lying.
And work needs a lot of my time these days.
By work, she means Netflix and sleeping.
7 months into quarantine, I noticed Greg getting a little distant and sad.
Because you are bumming me out, woman. Like, who's taking care of my needs? Which is why I got pork chop.
Hey, buddy, what are we doing today? Should we go on a walk? I'm excited. Are you excited?
Finally,
I saw a tree yesterday.
an
Have you
emotional
seen a
support
tree?
animal for your emotional support animal.
But it's okay.
And then one day I looked up from my laptop and there was this second dog.
That pillow looks delicious. I wonder if it tastes like apples.
Thanks to Pork Chop, I finally stopped wetting the bed. Man's best friend finally has his own best friend.
I love Friends. They're the best. Walks are the best. Where are we going? Should we go over there? What's this food? It's so good. I ate the whole bowl. I wonder what the bowl tastes like. I'm not sure what's happening right now, but it's my favorite.
Maybe take a nap, little buddy.
Help your pet, help you. Pet to Pet Ministries.
Hey, my back hurts, but it's okay. Does your back ever hurt? What's it like to be tall? Does it smell different when you're tall?
Now to the COVID crisis.
COVID-19 still decisive on the U.S. for the year.
Last year, the world closed. We did not. We collected food, blessed teachers, wiped out medical debt, supported hospital staff, gave away cars, sewed masks, sponsored children, helped kids celebrate Christmas, tutored kids in India, fed the needy in South Africa, restored water access in Nicaragua, helped rebuild in Puerto Rico, and more. The world changed. Our mission did not. God calls, Crossroads responds. We go and change the world. Join us, crossroads.net/go.
Man, those figures and all those stats, those are astounding. I love
Amazing.
seeing what our church did
Yes.
in 2020. Hey, we really are a church that goes. One of the things we're realizing, whatever community you're a part of, is that frontline medical workers, they're feeling exhausted, they're feeling underappreciated, and man, it's not okay. So we need your help to help bless them. That's why we're launching something called Fuel for the Fight. We want to bless healthcare workers right where they are, and we need your help to do it. You can go to crossroads.net/go to join our team.
Absolutely. As a church, that means our job is to make the world look more like God's kingdom. And I'm telling you, that is a great place to start.
That's it. Hey, if you're new around here, every single weekend isn't a half-thought-out football parody. We actually have a goal here of connecting you to a God who knows your name and wants to change your life. We're going to give you a halftime show that shows you a little bit of what we're about, featuring our very own Crossroads music.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, it's been a long time coming, and I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will.
Imagine a God that isn't just a prophet, a teacher, or a nice idea.
Imagine a God that made his church to be the hope of the world.
Imagine a God that is more powerful
Than anything that feels too broken to mend. Our past,
our futures,
our marriages, our jobs,
Our whatevers. Imagine a God.
that believes no one is too far gone.
to have a relationship with Him.
Imagine a God that wants a life of adventure for you.
Through Jesus,
you don't just have to imagine.
I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe going through withdrawals. You don't even have to do so much. You can tell me I'm just a touch, baby. I look around, since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lies.
I believe that God wanted more for me and my life than the addiction that was consuming me. God has redeemed me, He has freed me, He has made me whole through recovery and an amazing community.
I believe in a time of isolation and evil and darkness, that God is much bigger than that, and He's using me in my circle of influence to bring light into dark places.
I believe anything is possible with God. I watched Him redeem my marriage that was beyond broken. We were both lost and in the dark, and God brought us to light.
As a kid, church always felt like a set of rules to me that I had to follow but could never actually succeed with. But after saying no to religion and yes to God, I realized He is full of forgiveness when I fail and that He will never give up on me.
Jesus, Jesus, how we love to sing. Jesus, Jesus, King above all kings. Jesus, Jesus, there's power when we sing. Jesus, there's something about that name. You guys stand with us and sing this. Jesus, Jesus, how we love to sing. Jesus, Jesus, King above all kings. Jesus, Jesus, there's power when we say Jesus, there's something about that name.
That my wife and I are experiencing, God has really good plans for our future family. 2020 was really hard and we lost 2 kids, but I know that He has good things for us in this coming year.
I believe God wants to redeem a regret from my youth, and He's doing so in the life I have now.
I believe God helped me overcome overwhelming anxiety and showed me how to trust Him even during uncertainty. And I figured I can cast my cares on Him as many times as it takes, and I would often do that, and He kept my cares, my anxiety.
I spent years believing God had left me after a series of poor life decisions. After I hit what I felt like was rock bottom, He showed me that I am fully loved and known as I am, and that He has a plan and a purpose for me that is far greater than I could ever imagine for myself.
Who calls the wayward home? Jesus, who loves us as His own. Jesus, whose kingdom will forever reign. Who will the saints and angels praise? Who is the name above all names? It's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Whose kingdom will forever reign. Who will the saints and angels praise? Who is the name above all names? It's Jesus. Oh, it's Jesus.
Let's give it up one more time for our West Side Band.
West Side Band, come on now. Come on, crushing it every time. Hey, I don't know how you guys feel about the mask that Matt's been wearing as the referee, but I hope he doesn't have it on now. Matt has a special message for us.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. My name is Matt Castleman. I'm the community pastor at Crossroads Westside, a.k.a. The Ref at the big game. I wish I was there. I'm bummed. I hope you're having a great time so far. I know our Westside team is taking great care of you. Hey, real quick, if you're new, I just wanted you to hear this, that even though today 2 teams are going head-to-head, at Crossroads, we operate as one big team running after a massive vision that God has called us to. And one of the ways that we're able to accomplish that is when we're generous. We have some amazing, generous people on our team. If you're new, I hope you receive today as a gift. And if you're on the team, we have a chance to fuel the mission God's called us to by giving. You can do that at crossroads.net/give. God will use it not only to change your life, but to change our neighborhoods and to change the world. While we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Play ball.
You cannot reach back into that bowl.
Ew.
Don't worry, guys.
It's not the chips I'm worried about.
These are the new Germex Doritos. Great flavor and kills 99.9% of germs.
So they're covered in disinfectant?
Yeah. It's like I just washed my hands. Better, even.
It's not.
New Germex Doritos. Blech!
If you or a loved one have consumed Germex Doritos, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Also, what the crap were you thinking? If you ate Germex Doritos and have experienced any of these symptoms, tummy hurts, internal slippage, gut deforestation, euphoric misery, excessive logjam, fatalistic nihilism, nihilistic fatalism, everything tastes like ham, trouser grease, belly don't work right, sense of entitlement, cheese squints, apocalyptic vision. Number 2's white as the driven snow. Play stupid games, win huge cash settlements. Call 800 Frito Pays now. Brothers-in-law.
There's a reason you aren't satisfied with the ordinary. You were made for adventure. A life with God doesn't have to be boring. It can be a pulse-pumping, heart-pounding life of purpose. And we can guide you there. The adventure awaiting you is bigger and more life-giving than you could ever imagine. Join us every weekend for challenge, hope, and encouragement to guide you on your spiritual adventure.
Hey, that's right. We believe your life can be an adventure. We want to help you find it. But first, Hannah, I think we got a couple more sponsorships we need to get to before we go into the second half. First one, Tesla, a new self-driving baby stroller.
Yes, and I hear they almost have all the kinks worked out, which is great news. That's awesome.
You got one, something to drink, I believe.
Yeah, Strangler.
Oh my goodness, folks.
Did you
I'm
forget?
excited about this one. You've heard of Wrangler, all new Strangler jeans. I hear they can make you sing a whole octave higher.
It's crazy. It's going crazy. Everyone's loving them. You know what, folks? Let's head back down to the field for our second half.
Team Mingo, you will maintain possession of the Bible for the third quarter. Allie, please choose your random phrase. Your random phrase is, and that was the best thing about living in the 80s.
Those shoes were living in the 80s, I
think
believe.
so.
And I'm sorry, Allie, you have been chosen for a random COVID screening.
What?
Would
What
you
is
like the accurate 2-day test or the rapid results?
I like to be accurate. Let's do that.
Okay, very
How's that
good.
work?
This will just tickle
Whoa,
slightly.
okay, easy.
I think so.
Well, what's the rapid test?
Oh, the rapid test? I just flip a coin.
That sounds like my kind of COVID test.
Is that a thing?
It's not.
You're good.
Okay.
He tasted it.
Oh my. Hey, if you want to know what I think Jesus' best coaching move is, it's got to be his ability to push. If you are here today and you would say, yeah, I'm somebody who would like the most life that I could get, and I would like more of what God has for me in my life today, then you need to let Jesus push you. Great coaches always push their players, right? If you've been coached by a great coach, you know this. Great coaches see who their players are. Great coaches do that. They push because they know the capacity that is waiting there, and they actually want more for their players than the players can even see for themselves. And great coaches also know something about those players. They know that players would rather stay in their comfort zone, and it's their job to push through the comfort zone at just the right time, with just the right difficulty, just the right amount of pain to get through their comfort zone to something better. Jesus is this kind of coach. Jesus wants this. He wants us to let him coach like that in our life. He sees who you are. He made you. He knows exactly what he put in you. He knows all the capacities that you have inside you. And right now, today, I believe he wants more for you than you can even imagine for your own life. Some of us came here today, or we find ourselves at this weekend, and we're actually at the edge of our comfort zone. I think so often we come up to that edge and we can't make ourselves step into it. We can't start the new phase. We can't sign up for the training. We can't do the thing we know in our heart is going to make us stronger, but we just can't quite go all the way in. That's the moment you need a great coach. And Jesus is the one who would like to take you through your comfort zone and get you out the other side. And he knows exactly where, when, and how to push you to get you more. He did this for a woman who came up to him during his time here on earth, and she wanted something from him. She had a serious problem. She had been bleeding for 12 years. 12 years. Now, not just any kind of blood. I know we're at the Super Bowl and it's a guy weekend and all that, but listen, guys, it's pretty clear from the text what kind of bleeding this was. She was having her monthly cycle for 12 years. And I know you don't want to hear it. It's Super Bowl and you think it's yucky. Half the world does this all the time, but 12 years, you all.
I thought the flag was coming.
It's here. Why?
What?
Emotional encroachment.
Oh, get a grip.
Talking about that.
Come on.
I'm
This
not
is
seeing
football,
approval.
not a Tampax commercial.
Audience is not loving it.
They're
3
sending out
points will be
some
assessed.
boos.
Listen.
Challenge flag as well.
Challenge.
Mingo
I am
with the
insulted.
challenge.
And also, Tampax, I mean, that was the best thing about living in the 80s.
Hey, and there it is, friends. The random phrase just dropped in.
I don't
So
get
this
it.
woman.
Hold on, there's a challenge on the field.
Hold on, ref. That was a horrible call.
Terrible
Horrible call.
penalty.
We want a booth review. We want a booth review on that.
You want a booth review?
Yes.
You want a booth review?
We want a booth review on
What's a booth review? I'll tell you what, I'll figure that out. Allie, keep going and we'll figure out a booth review.
Right.
Back to the Bible. She came up to Jesus and she had not been able to live her life normally for 12 years because not only was that awful enough for her, but she couldn't live in normal community. According to Jewish law, that would have made her unclean. It would have meant that she couldn't worship at the temple regularly. She couldn't go where others were. She would have been untouchable and forced to the edges of everyday life for as long as she could probably remember at that point. So I want you to picture her in the crowd with Jesus. He's walking through and she wants to be with him, but she can't, and she certainly shouldn't be touching him, and she definitely shouldn't be around all these people, so she does an army crawl to the bottom of the crowd and she reaches out. And listen to what happens in Luke 8. She came up behind him and she touched the edge of his cloak, and immediately her bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When they all denied it, Peter said, "Master, the people are crowding and pressing all against you." But Jesus said, "Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me." Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. Now let's pause the story right here. And I had a reaction to this when I read this a couple of months back. Again, I stopped right here in the story and I actually said out loud to Jesus, "Why did you do it? Why did you force her up in front of the crowd? She was already healed. It says so right there. She got what she came for. Why you gotta be so mean?" And I read the story again, and I read the story again, and I read it again, and I realized far from mean, this was Coach Jesus on the field. He wanted more than what she came for. Listen to how the story ends. In the presence of all the people, she told why she had touched him and how she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." Jesus forced her up in front of the people who had been forcing her out. He wanted them to hear her say what happened, and he had to make her uncomfortable to do it. But he wanted not just what she came for. She came to make the pain stop. She came for the physical healing, but Jesus wanted all the healing. He wanted the communal healing. He wanted the relational healing. He wanted the emotional healing. He wanted everything for her, and way more than she wanted for herself. What have you given up on? Where do you just kind of want the pain to stop, but you don't really want to go through what's going to get you all the way to the other side and all the life that Jesus has for you? Because he hasn't given up on that. He wants it all for you like a great coach always does. The Atlanta Falcons may not be in the Super Bowl this year, but they do something I think is awesome. They have a weekend for their players, their current players in the franchise, called Thanks Coach, and they let them invite back former coaches that kind of helped push them so that they achieved their NFL dreams, and they get to invite them there to be a part of the franchise for the weekend. And the coaches are greeted with a letter from their player. I read these online, and they were amazing, you all. They were amazing. And every letter that I read had something about being pushed. Sprints after practice, camps they insisted on them attending, grit, accountability, all kinds of tough things that these coaches did. And not one letter said how mean and awful this coach was. As a matter of fact, most of them summarized it something like this one. Appreciate everything you've done for me, Coach. You were and still are another father to me. Thanks, Coach, for being a great dad. Great coaches act like great fathers. I got an email a couple weeks ago from my daughter's basketball coach. His own daughter is on the team, and I'm guessing there had been some complaints. In his email, this is what it said. I will never coach, push, or yell at your daughter any different than I would my own. I will treat them as I would my own daughter. If they are consistently not in position or do not know where they should be, then I will tell them, sometimes loudly, where and what they should be doing. We are about developing your girls so that they are ready for high school basketball. That's a great coach. Great coaches push, and they want more. And they say, this might be uncomfortable, but guess what? I can see beyond where you are. I know what's in you, and I am getting you ready for more, and I would do it to my own kid. That is what God does. God is a good father. He's a great coach, and he would never push you into anything that he didn't ask of his very own son. When Jesus was here on earth, he allowed his father to push him through all kinds of pain, all kinds of discomfort, insults, disbelief, rejection, isolation, all sorts of pain, all the way down to his death on the cross. And he did it because he wanted to come through his comfort zone to the other side for the life that he got for you. When Jesus went to the cross, he earned the right to be your coach on the field. Let Jesus push you to more.
It's our third quarter.
Touchdown, Team Mingo! Allie, you were awarded 6 points for a great message.
Thank you.
However, there was that one second.
Getting a call on the field
Yes.
here.
Who is this?
So sorry. Never again. Thank you. That was the commish. They want me to reverse that call that I made earlier.
The yucky points. Thank
Who
you.
is the commish?
Yes.
The commish.
Wait, who's the commish?
That's what my wife wants me to call her.
You thank your wife for me later.
You got the random phrase.
Great.
The extra Bible trivia question is, 1 Corinthians 9 describes athletes competing in competition, but only one getting the prize, and at the end of the NFL season, only one team will be champion. Name 3 NFL teams that have yet to win the Super Bowl.
Oh. Can I phone some friends?
Sure, that works in sports.
Okay. The Bengals.
Yep.
The Bills.
Yep.
And the Browns.
That is correct!
Woo! Nice.
Resulting in an end of third quarter score. Oh my goodness, math is hard. Third quarter score, Team Mingo 21, Team Tone 7.
Yes, dog.
That's the end of the third.
Woo! Wow, big lead by the Team Mingo at the end of the third here. Greg, are you okay, buddy? What's going on? You look a little whiter than normal.
There's too many chocolate coins.
Oh, I see. Brought to you by Hershey's, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's head back down to the field while Greg, yet again, recovers.
Please choose your random phrase. Oh gosh, 1 second. Your random phrase is, that is the quickest way to get thrown out of a P.F. Chang's.
Nice.
I have to admit, this is the first Super Bowl I'll actually be rooting for Tom Brady. He's annoyed me his whole career. You know, I mean, he seems to cheat. He wins all the time. He's got multiple supermodel girlfriends at various times. I mean, it just annoys you, right? Until this year. Because I'm just inspired that a 43-year-old guy can still be on his game. When people have gotten out of the league, he's still on his game. It actually causes me to push myself and say, what are the expectations I have about myself? And how am I falling prey to the lie of age? It's not just that, but stories have come out about how he has been a great encourager to his team. All those players were there before, but they dropped him in. He has elevated them. He, in many ways, has been a coach inside the field, even though obviously Bruce Arians does an amazing job. Have you ever considered that Jesus is a coach and he's the most influential person in human history because of his ability to empower people as a coach? He is the most influential person in all of human history. He's the most well-known name in all of human history in every corner of the globe. You can't go to a hospital without seeing a saint in front of it, or Christ Hospital or something like that. You look at the original charter of orphanage after orphanage, and you'll see that it was by Christ followers who saw that I was a spiritual orphan and I have a heart for physical orphans. You take a look at the movements of humanitarian effort all over the globe, and you'll see it's still Christians who are leading it. You'll see Mother Teresa, the population of India, scratching their head like, what? Wait a minute, why are you helping these people who are in the streets? This is their karma. They're coming back from a previous life, and they're getting punished for their previous life. Friends, all religions are not the same. All teachings are not the same. And Jesus empowered you and I to think, I should start something for people who are hurting. I should start something to help somebody else. I should recognize that when God wants something done, the answer, this sounds awful, is me. Because he sends me. That's what that whole phrase of my hands and feet of Jesus means, that we are his physical presence. And a lot of people call themselves Christians. A lot of people go to church, but you plop them in any different environment and they don't behave any differently. They don't empower people. They don't meet needs. They don't elevate people's games. They're just another person with a different belief set. That is not being on the team. It's being about others, wanting to elevate people. Jesus did this again and again. He would take people and he would give them authority. He would give them responsibility. In Luke chapter 10, verse 1, it says this: Now the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them on ahead of him, 2 by 2, into every town and place where he himself was about to go. And he said to them, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. Takes them 2 by 2 and just, there we go. Get out there. Come on. Go, go, go. I want you to make a difference. I want you to have an impact. When I was at the very earliest stage of COVID, remember way back when in COVID, the very beginning of it, it was just kind of a cool, like, adrenaline surge. Ooh, this is going to be different. This is going to be fun. At least I had that opinion. Like, I mean, go way, way back to February, March when they said everyone's going to shut down. We're like, whoo, it's like snow day or something like that, right? Remember that way back when? And I was like, man, this is like, I'm living through a unique time. Sat down and talked with my wife, Lib, and we just pounded out this email, sent to the entire neighborhood we were in, the 25 closest homes, and said, hey, look, folks, I don't know if you're prepared. I'm not necessarily a prepper, but I am prepared. I've got extra food. We've got, right now anyway, plenty of toilet paper. We've got, if we don't...
Flag.
You're muted.
Muted.
Matt, you're muted.
Oh my gosh. It's like Zoom.
Sorry. You think after a year of Zoom meetings I'd know how to do this. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'll award you 3 points for interruption.
Ah, okay.
3-point interruption. Has that ever been done?
No.
So we said, hey, look, we have food. If you're around of food, we're happy to share with you whatever we have. We have some really older neighbors. If you need a ride someplace, we're happy to take you there. You know, toilet paper, we got plenty. If we don't have any, we'll get down to P.F. Chang's and take theirs. And by the way, that's the quickest way to get thrown out of P.F. Chang's, just taking their toilet paper.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the quickest way.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
The audience here.
Wipes himself
A
with a
live
slip.
applause.
That's a Brian Tome special.
Yes, it is.
But I'm empowered. I'm empowered because Jesus empowered me. He's empowered you for the people in your life, in your business, in your school. He is a coach that sends you out, just like he sent the 72. He sends people today. I've been reading a book that's been ringing my bell, and it's going to affect Crossroads a lot. Already has been affecting Crossroads a lot. It's called The Founder's Mentality. And in this book, they talk, it's a business book, but you can find spiritual principles in just about any book if you look hard enough. It looks at how businesses that have taken off, they start with a founder who has an insurgent mentality. He or she just doesn't like the way things are. They want to play by different rules. They go, like the founders of Google, information should be readily available for everybody. Or Steve Jobs, why in the world are computers clunky looking? Or Truett Cathy saying, why does fast food have to be unhealthy? And Chick-fil-A is born. There's this insurgency, and with it brings different methods, different mindsets, and then what happens is it works, and then it leads to growth, which leads to scale, which leads to structure, which leads to matrix organizations, which leads to bureaucracy, and then everybody's looking around for somebody else to make some decision, or everybody's waiting for something to change, and no one feels empowered. And we've lost the founder's attitude. I think in Christianity, we've lost the founder's mentality. Jesus put the founder's mentality into people. Crossroads has staff and budgets and even a level of bureaucracy I'm trying every day to utterly crush and annihilate. I could have said that morning as I sat there in my prayer time with God before I sent out that email, oh, I know, I'm going to see if Crossroads can give any money to it. I'm going to see what staff member. No, it was me. It wasn't the thing, it was me. And the movement of Christ is being held back because we keep waiting for denominations or churches or nonprofits or somebody. What about the players who are in the room right here, right now? What about the players? What about the players who are in neighborhoods right now? We keep waiting for something to happen or someone to do it instead of recognizing Jesus empowered me to make a difference. Me. We go from insurgency to bureaucracy and denominationalism and committee meetings and whatever, and it just doesn't work. It fizzles out. Now, when these 72 people came back, what do you know? They actually saw miracles. They saw miracles take place that they could not have manhandled or woman-handled themselves. And Jesus, I love his coach. I love his coaching attitude. He says in Luke 10, 17 to 18, as they come back, the 72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And he said to them, man, I saw Satan fall like lightning. Can you just hear a coach say that? Man, I saw Satan fall like lightning. He's like, well, I saw Satan fall like lightning. No, I saw it, guys. I saw Satan fall like lightning. I'm like, way to go. He coaches them entirely. And he does the same thing for you and I. Jesus empowers his people to move, and we need to move while we're empowered.
That's our game.
That's it.
Touchdown, Team Tome! Brian, you're awarded 6 points for an excellent message, plus 3 points for a random use of phrase. Plus, I apologize for the interruption, an extra 3 points, mainly because I wanted it to be a close game. Let's be honest. So, the breaking point, it's a tied game right now, 21-21.
Are you serious?
Brian, you have to answer Bible trivia to win the Super Bowl of sports ball of preaching. Your question is...
I actually feel like I should specifically answer it wrong if you seriously just did that so that I had a chance of winning.
Well, we'll see.
All right, we'll see. If it's a question that I don't know, I'm just going to say, I don't know. I'm just going to give it to them, even though I do know all Bible questions. I know all of them.
I'm sure.
Every last one of them. Go ahead.
The oldest recorded lifespan in the Bible is Methuselah, who lived to be 969 years old. Some say Betty White has a way to go if she's going to be our modern-day Methuselah. Within 3 years, what year was Betty White born?
What year was she born?
Yeah, not what year did she die. She's still alive.
1926.
It is 1922. So close. Mingo is the Super Bowl of preaching champion.
Team Mingo pulls it out
for the win.
for the presentation of the Bible trophy.
Here it is.
There it is.
The drought is broken.
Mingo and Patterson taking home the hardware.
Plus, there is a cash prize. You can split my stimulus check.
Right down the middle there. Nicely done.
Hey, I hope everybody had a good time today. We're going to go back to all of our campuses and our in-studio hosts, but just remind you, next week we start a new series called The Cure. I think we all understand that there's a lot of sick things happening in our culture, a lot of sickness, and there's actually a cure. There's actually understanding and help we're going to bring tomorrow. We can't wait to talk about that. We'll see you next week.
Let's give it up for the winning team today. Come on, what a great Super Bowl.
Woo! Thank you all for coming. We certainly hope to see you next weekend. Services are at 9:30 and 11:30.
Hey, don't rush getting out of here. We want you to go, but be safe, safe social distancing. And please, one more time as they play us out, give it up for the West Side Band.
Here we go. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come in. Let's go out with the bang. I'm way too young. I'm way too old to try, so whatever come hang. Let's go out with the bang. Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Till my password begin with the 1 or 2. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. Here we go. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody, come on, let's go out with the bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever. I'm way too old to try, so whatever come hang. Let's go out with the bang. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know his song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang.